Hey guys, in this video I'm going to share about what all programming languages, frameworks and tools you need to learn to become a really good front-end developer so that you can land into a really good job opportunity. So keep watching this video, and at the end of the video you will get complete information, complete idea about what all things you need to learn to become a really good front-end developer. So continue watching this video. So to become a front-end developer, you need to start with the basic things. So first I'm going to talk about what all basic things you need to learn to become a front-end developer. So first thing you need to learn is the HTML. So HTML is the fundamental thing in the front-end developer, in the front-end development, sorry. So in front-end development, basically we design user interface. So to develop a user interface, we have to start with the HTML. So HTML is the first thing. Second thing is to style the complete user interface or front end. For styling, we use CSS. So we have to understand the fundamental components of the CSS, like how we can define the class, how we can define ID, how we can adjust the position of the elements in HTML, how we can put different colors, how we can improve the look and feel of the color. So to do all these things, we have to understand the basics of the CSS. So first is HTML, second is CSS. So these two things are very important to start the front end development. So these two things are building blocks of the front end development. So it is very important, really important to understand each component element of the HTML and CSS. So this is first thing you have to understand and you have to know, and you should start practicing. So once you have understood the fundamental of the HTML and CSS. So basically in HTML and CSS you should understand about what all tags, what all properties in CSS we have to use to style it, and we have to create different elements in the front end. So once you have understood it completely, so next step to make things easier, so you don't have to write everything from scratch. There are lots of frameworks based on HTML and CSS available, so that you can use those frameworks to start development of front end very quickly. So for example, the most popular one, and there are lots of frameworks out there, but I will share few popular and very important frameworks. Like one is Bootstrap framework. So you can use this Bootstrap framework to develop your front end. So basically in Bootstrap there are lots of components are already developed, lots of stylings are already designed, so you don't have to start anything from scratch. Simply use those stylings and HTML forms and all, every components are there, so you simply pick and start development, and little bit enhancement and customization you can do using those properties. And next another one is materialized design, materialized CSS. So this is another framework. So in this framework also similarly the way you start, you can pick the bootstrap and you can start development using the bootstrap. Similarly in materialized CSS there are lots of components, lots of CSS properties are already defined, so you only have to pick those copy those things from the document, and you can start development of the front end. So these two are really popular front end HTML and CSS based from frameworks are. So there are lots of, but these two I'm recommending. So once you have understood the HTML, CSS fundamentals, you can start learning Bootstrap or materialized CSS or whatever. Like if you search on Google, like what all frameworks are available based on CSS, so you can find lots of frameworks are there. So whatever you feel comfortable, you can start learning those frameworks and start implementing. So these two are really good frameworks, or anyone you can choose. to start development of the front end. So once you have good understanding about the fundamentals of the HTML and CSS and their frameworks. So once you have understood all these things clearly, so next thing which is really important to make our website or user interface interactive. So to make user interface really interactive, we should should know the language which is JavaScript. So JavaScript is really important thing, and in front end development or as a front end developer, you have to or you should or you must know the JavaScript. Without JavaScript, you cannot be called a front end developer, because just writing HTML and CSS or Bootstrap or any framework based on CSS will not help you to land on a good job. So to get into a good job, so you have to understand fundamentals of the JavaScript language. So you have to learn the JavaScript language, because there are lots of frameworks available to make the website interactive, to get the data from any API, to integrate the API in the front end. So there are lots of frameworks which are based on the JavaScript. So it is really important to learn the JavaScript language. So this is another thing in the front end which is really important. I will say more important than learning the HTML and CSS. So HTML CSS is a really easy thing, but the important and tough. So once you have understood the fundamentals of the JavaScript programming language, so next thing is the TypeScript. TypeScript basically got evolved from the JavaScript. So TypeScript is the latest form of the JavaScript. So they have different syntax. So you have to understand, you have to get basic understanding about the TypeScript. So once you have understood the JavaScript fundamentals, you can easily understand the TypeScript language as well, because the frameworks are basically the latest frameworks. So old one was jQuery, which was on JavaScript, but latest frameworks are developed on the TypeScript syntax. So it is really important to understand the syntax of the TypeScript, because whatever frameworks in future you are going to learn will be based on the TypeScript language. So it is really important to know about the TypeScript. So once you have understood or learned the fundamentals of the JavaScript, once you have learned about the TypeScript, so next step is to choose one of many frameworks based on the TypeScript. So few popular frameworks are, one is React.js, another one is Angular, and one is Vue.js. So these three are really popular these days. So out of these three, you can learn any one framework and you can start implementing things in the front end. So the importance of these frameworks are, like, it helps us to make our website interactive. It helps us to integrate the APIs in our front end, so that some data can be brought through these APIs. So it is really important to understand any one framework out of three. But there are lots of other frameworks are developed these days, so you can learn those also. But these three are really important in the or really popular in the market. So you can select any one to get a really good job opportunity. So basically in interview they will start asking you from these frameworks, because learning HTML, CSS is important, but in interview they will, as a front end developer, they will mostly focus on these frameworks. They will focus on the TypeScript, they will ask you questions about JavaScript, they will give you some problem to solve using JavaScript, then they will ask you about this any one of the framework, whatever you select. So from that particular framework they will ask you tons of questions. So you have to be prepared to face the interview and to land in a really good job opportunity. So it is really important. I hope you have got the complete idea about the front-end development, how you can become a front-end developer, what all things you need to learn to become a front-end development. I hope you have got the complete roadmap of the front-end developer. So if you like my video, please subscribe my channel. Please press on bell icon because I'm going to share similar kind of video on different things to guide you people. So I hope you liked my video. So thank you. Thanks for watching my video.